Hi everyone, how's it going? Today we look at what happens when a self-righteous, dishonest comedian is exposed as a producer of fake news and dishonest editing practices. That's right, today we're talking about Jim motherfucking Jeffries. But first, I'm gonna plug this video's sponsor for like 30 seconds. Being such a great sponsor of my channel, I obviously use Virtual Shield VPN. They're one of the fastest and by far the most user-friendly VPNs around, and their no log policy protects your anonymity from any potential data breaches. This month, Virtual Shield is offering an Easter special of 40% off all VPN plans and all premium add-ons including Protection Plus, residential access, monthly maintenance, phone support and VIP performance plans for as little as $3 a month. Sign up for a free 30-day trial to Virtual Shield VPN and see what all the hype is about. You've got nothing to lose. Link in the description. Australian export Jim Jeffries reached his peak of fame in Hollywood after Comedy Central offered him his very own show, a place where he could put his controversial comedy stylings to good use, while talking about the real issues, like how Trump's a cunt and shit. It was becoming more and more evident that Hollywood liberal fuckwit wanker culture was changing him.
Because you used to be Australian.
I'm still Australian.
No, you're fucking not. You used to be Australian. You used to be Australian, and every Aussie loved you.
The Emmys were last night. You might notice I seem a little hungover today. That's from drinking at home and yelling at my TV because I wasn't invited. Ban it all! Ban it!
Why do you want to hang out with them? Why do you want to be part of that little game?
Why do I want to be part
I feel
of
like
the
interviews change.
No, I'm interested in this. Why do I want to be part of the Hollywood gang? So hanging out with all the
you
beautiful...
still hear me? I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you know, hanging out with all the beautiful people in the Hollywood Hills, it's fucking horrible. Why would anyone want to do that?
Okay, well, there we go. All right, listen, you've explained it. All right, I'm with you. I'll sell my soul to you.
You think I've sold my soul?
100%.
And with his brand new show, he would become another intolerable virtue-signalling dickhole cunt. Yes, it's possible to be a dickhole cunt. The shit show started when Avi Yemini, a fellow YouTuber and controversial Jewish Australian political personality, was invited to do an interview that would appear on the Jim Jeffries show. Avi agreed to the interview on 2 strict conditions.
Now, I agreed with 2 conditions. 1, there'll be no neo-Nazi or Nazi sympathisers on the same segment because I don't want to be aligned to them and I don't want to give them any legitimacy or anything like that. Common sense. The second one was that they don't cut my answers from one question and put it to another.
No Nazis and no dishonest editing. Seems like a fair request, doesn't it?
Now, to my horror, but not my surprise, they did exactly both.
Get the fuck out of here, bruh. They did both those things?
They did exactly both.
Shit's fucked up. And not only would that show a severe lack of integrity by cherry-picking parts of the interview to portray Avi in a disingenuous manner, they'd also use his interview to connect him to the recent New Zealand shooting.
They connected me to the Christchurch killer, to the terrorist.
The New Zealand shooter left behind a detailed record of his anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim rhetoric. And unfortunately, these days, this kind of intolerance is being tolerated in more places than you might think.
Oh, because we shouldn't tolerate that intolerance. Because intolerance is fucking intolerable. Fuck intolerance. No decent tolerant person tolerates intolerance. I honestly think this shit flies over this fucking retard's head. What we came to find out is that this interview was recorded months prior to the New Zealand shootings. Looks like Avi was being set up to be the face of intolerance in Australia, a representation of right-wing hate, and how dangerous ideas like his create violence and chaos.
This was filmed a few months ago, and not in response to the Christchurch massacre, as they seem to be alluding here.
I was shocked to hear that the prick allegedly behind the Christchurch, New Zealand mass shootings is a white supremacist who grew up and was radicalised in Australia. So what is the situation down there? And what are the people who may have radicalised him saying?
White people like myself feel happy and safe around my culture, my people.
Sherman's a Nazi. You broke Rule 1 in 20 seconds.
It turns out that the one thing that can bring together the alt-right and a Jew is their shared hatred of Muslims. Meet Jewish activist Avi Yemini, a good Australian name.
Now, in all Jim's moral superiority, he never for a moment thought that Avi would be onto him. Skeptical about the whole interview and the lengths they took to get it done, like a free flight and accommodation in Singapore, he came up with a backup plan, should his suspicions be right and they tried to fuck him over.
So what I did was, I got there and I secretly put my phones down to record the entire segment.
Blissfully unaware that he'd soon be unmasked as the full of shit cunt that he is, Jim conducted the interview, trying his best to trick Avi into saying something damning.
Islamic immigration, cut it.
Now, what makes Avi suddenly feel so comfortable saying this shit out loud?
I always stand by my words, and I say it publicly, loudly, and proudly. I won't say in private something different than what I'll say in public. And if I get it wrong, which I have at times, and I feel necessary to apologise, I have done it, and I will do it.
I might sound like a hippie saying this. What gives anyone the right to tell anyone where they can and can't live?
When you import this culture, what do you think's going to happen? Australia's going to end up the same shithole that they came from, that they were escaping. Watch how Jim Jeffries has edited this last clip to make me look like an ass. See what I really said.
What gives anyone the right to tell anyone where they can and can't live? Really? Like,
Borders,
I know
government.
borders,
Yeah.
but wouldn't it just be nice if we got to a place in society where we had a utopia where we all just lived as
On a level, I agree
You
with
may
you.
say I'm a dreamer, but
I
I'm not the
I
only
think
one.
most people, sensible people would agree with you in theory,
Yeah.
but in practice, it's not. It goes against human nature. It just doesn't work. You bloody scumbag, Jim.
Little did Jim know his own ramblings of disrespect towards Muslims would have him looking like a racist piece of shit with dangerous and bigoted ideas.
Today, what I really want to show you is how Jim Jeffries speaks about Islam, about their Prophet Muhammad, and about Muslims themselves when he thinks the cameras aren't rolling.
I'm not a big fan of Islam. I think that wearing a burqa is stupid and demeaning and all these things. Islam or dingo?
Islam and dingo sneaky?
Yeah,
Probably both.
probably both. Dangerous?
Probably both.
Probably both.
The dingo ate the baby. It turned
Yeah.
out it did eat the baby.
If it ain't a bloody Muslim baby, it would have vomited.
I don't actually
that's
agree
not
with
that
that.
shit, isn't it? I'm only joking.
But that's not funny. You're talking about fucking killing kids.
No, it's not
That's
funny.
crossing a line. There's a fucking line.
We'll edit this bit out. I never look bad in these interviews.
Oh, okay. So why do you never look bad, Jim? Is it maybe because you've got the cameras rolling and the editors standing by? Well, what if another motherfucker's got a camera rolling, Jim? And what if they don't have editors, Jim? Still cool with that? Jim? Seriously though, what a complete cunt. He compares Avi to neo-Nazis, he chops up the interview, editing bits and pieces together to manufacture a completely different conversation than the one that took place. He releases the interview straight after the New Zealand shooting and frames it as if it's a response to the New Zealand shooting, and he paints himself as this virtuous defender of Muslims everywhere, frowning at Avi for what he has to say about Muslims. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, he's joking about dingoes vomiting up dead Muslim babies. Now, I've got no problem with jokes. I don't even have a problem with that joke. What I do have a problem with is blatant, flagrant fucking hypocrisy. Now, it didn't take long for the shitstorm to blow in. A wave of comments flooded through Jim Jeffries' Twitter and Instagram accounts. The heat was so severe that poor Jim went all snowflake and disabled comments. What a fucking pussy. And with no sign of this going away anytime soon, you'd think Jim and Comedy Central would go into damage control, keen to address the issue and defend the integrity of the show. Fuck no. 6 days after being exposed, Jim decided it was time to start tweeting again. But was it to apologise or address the issue? Of course not. Despite the mounting pressure, Jim and the gang at Comedy Central are burying their heads in the sand on this one, and it's likely that they'll never address the issue. It'll just be more fake news brushed aside, and another person's character defamed as a sacrificial offering to the lefty outrage mob. Even Facebook jumped in on the action. They banned Avi from the platform and removed his video exposing Jim. I mean, Jim's all good to spread his manufactured smear job on Facebook, but Avi defending himself and exposing the truth is fucking hate speech. But it's not over yet.
I'm going to do what the mainstream media has failed to do. I'm going to go myself to confront Jim Jeffries, to confront Comedy Central, to confront Facebook, who banned me and deleted my response, my evidence, whilst leaving the defamatory content online of Jim Jeffries, which is still up there. We finally have the evidence of what we've been saying for so long. But the media, the mainstream media, is refusing to report on it. So we're going to do their job.
Well, that should be interesting. I look forward to seeing how this pans out. Anyway, I'll fucking catch you later.
Recession, session.